Thanks for your patience, everybody, as Will said, as we just work our way through these little bit of technical difficulties. We promise it'll get better each time.
Mitch Young now throwing for Team Medford here. Team Medford represents the Kimberley Curling Club and the Cranbrook Curling Club. So the Kootenay representation here in this BC Men's Championship this year. They've been playing on the BC Curling Tour all season and managed to qualify through the Open Qualifier a few weeks ago back in Delta. Melissa, Team Gauthier's route to this championship was a little bit different. They pre-qualified and did a lot of touring in and outside of BC this year. So they've had quite a busy season as well to qualify here.
They really have. They've been playing in a ton of spiels going back to, I think, the beginning of September, if not late August. And like you say, Will, I think they played in one or two in BC and then probably anywhere between 6 and 8 out of the province as well. So just to recap, in the first end, there was almost every rock in play, and Team Gauthier came out with 1 point out of that grouping.
Thank you, Melissa. I just brought up the live scores here, so I'll be able to help with that going forward here.
Will, you've been on the ground there in Chilliwack. How are things looking for the ice and just the environment and the field with everybody?
You know, this is one of our first years back in a curling club. Traditionally, we've been in an arena for this event, but coming into this world-class facility has really made the event feel every bit as special as it has for the last 4 or 5 years. And the Chilliwack Curling Club, particularly in terms of the ice, as you just asked, their head ice technician's done a marvelous job, along with Curl BC's chief ice technician for this event, Mike Merklinger. So big thanks to Mr. Michaluk and as well as Mike Merklinger on doing the great ice here. And the athletes are seeing consistent curl and consistent speed. So I think that's what they asked for, and I believe they're really pleased with what Mike and the team of volunteers have been able to produce this week.
Oh, that's so great. So great to hear. You never want ice to be a factor for sure.
The third
Oh,
here, Steve Tesmeti.
yeah, Team Medford with the hammer here in the second end or first end, pardon me, second end. Forgot we missed the first end. Nice hit and roll to the side. It is open though for Team Gauthier.
This is our A event quarterfinal. So Team Medford was on the ice earlier today. Played against Team Giel, who was also a pre-qualifier for this event. So from a ranking statistic, Melissa, a little bit of an upset in the opening draw between Giel and Medford.
Yes, and I think I was doing some updates myself, and I think it was 7-2 at one point for Team Giel over Medford, and what a comeback in the
Absolutely.
last half of that game. Alex Horvath working hard here, trying to get this rock to curl, and just does enough. Did Chris call the hit on this, Will? I mean, the other option obviously is to draw around that center guard and just try and get your deuce that way and try and get it skips deuce. It looks, but I think he might be calling the hit.
I think so, and might be calling the hit and roll, and maybe trying to make the double and keep a blank alive.
Yeah, tough double, I think.
This is my first game commentating. I'm having to get used to these screens we're looking at. Yeah, it is a little tough to see, but I might have to get myself a second monitor here for my next game.
I don't want to tell you, but I have three monitors going right now.
Oh,
I know you're a little bit jealous. And a heating pad and a blanket. Oh, and my tea.
sounds perfect.
Some might call me a princess. Yeah, that was a tough double, but did he hit and roll for shot, do you think, Will? Ooh,
If he
tough to
did, what a
see.
what a great outcome, and
Yeah, the
might
boys
force
having a
a
look.
draw out of Team Gauthier, unless maybe Gauthier is already sitting one.
Yeah, they seem pretty convinced, Sterling and Jacques, that they are shot stone. Otherwise, I think they maybe take a run at it. Chris having a quick look himself.
This is the first year for Jacques playing in a BC championship. Obviously, the rest of his team has multiple years of experience playing in BC men's championship, but the first time we've had Jacques, so he is the free agent on this team Gauthier, where for this season.
These guys trying hard to get this one around that guard, and would love to see this to get to top four. And oh, just over curl. Might have been a couple feet light, I think.
So I'm just trying to make out what the call is. I'm only seeing the home camera right now, and it looks like, is it some type of hit there?
Looks like our home camera's come to a stop here, Will, at the moment.
Yes.
Um,
It's funny where the broom is. It could either be that little hit to maybe sit two, or unless they're shot, it
mhm.
could also be an in-turn draw. So not sure what the call is here, but Chris Medford is about to throw.
Hoping that the home end comes back online here real quick.
Looks like it was a hit based on the speed he came out there.
Yeah, I would agree.
And we do apologize for the technical difficulties. We will continue to work on the internet quality.
Chris doesn't look overly happy just from the away camera there. I'm not sure if he managed to.
It was at least one, and but
Yeah,
maybe it was just the one. Hey, Melissa?
yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Unofficially, the score is 1-1 heading into the third end, folks. But we'll wait for that official score update here that we'll see shortly. And if you are looking for live scores, Curl BC is piloting using Curling.io for this championship, so you can see the scoreboard, the standings, the teams, the photos, all that stuff through the curlbc.ca website, and hit live scores in the top right-hand corner of the screen. It'll take you to Curling.io. We're just piloting this for this event. We'll be continuing with bot.curlbc.ca for our future BC championships the remainder of the season, but trying this one out to see if it's something we might want to use down the road. The center guard was made there by Blair Jarvis, throws lead rocks for Team Medford. And it's nice to see the feed is back live, Melissa.
Yes, fantastic. I just want to give a huge shout out to our producer tonight, Mr. Luca Saligo. Happens to have the same last name as me. He's my nephew, 13 years old, and he's running the show for us tonight.
Very calm, cool, and collected under some technical difficulties tonight. So thank you, Luca, for leading the way for us.
It's good to have a techie in the family, not gonna lie.
And that was a great draw by Alex Horvath, who calls Victoria home. This team Gauthier, two of their members, Sterling and Alex, call Victoria home, whereas the other two members are
One's in Edmonton, Jason, and Jacques obviously in Winnipeg.
yes.
And I have to say, it's awesome having Sterling in Victoria. We
Yeah,
kind of
he
stole him.
I know Sterling is a great curler, but he's also a fantastic instructor. So anybody on that southern Vancouver Island area who needs a good curling coach, make sure you touch base with the Victoria Curling Center. Sterling Middleton is their club pro, if you will, kind of similar to what the golf industry does. They're trying to really professionalize the education and training over there at the VCC, so you can get lessons from this young man and making all kinds of shots here at the BC Men's Championships.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to plan B there, Will. They were trying to corner freeze to that Yellowstone that's top 8, and at the last minute thought they would try and get it by, and unfortunately just ticks the Yellowstone and rolls off to the side there. Gives Team Medford an opportunity now to try and hit and roll towards the center.
If you are hopping around on the channels, Sheet Charlie does have microphones on the sheet, so you can hear Brent Pierce along with Jason Montgomery's teams communicating a little bit during that game. And the other 4 games are just the one iPad zooming in at the away end and zooming out a little bit at the home end. But yeah, lots of ways to enjoy the action, and it will be getting more and more enhanced as we go, beginning with the Page playoff games. Roll Focus Productions, along with Melissa Saligo, John Cullen, and the whole regular team there will be fully producing those games. And then for the Page playoff games, along with the semis and the final, will be on Czech TV, as well as cbcsports.ca. So lots of ways to watch it, and the coverage will be getting more and more enhanced as the week goes along, Melissa.
Yeah, I look forward to it. It's going to be an exciting couple of days and exciting weekend, obviously. And John Cullen, who's actually the 5th this week for Team Cheka, will be joining me in the booth on Friday. He gets fired from his team and joins us, so that's all good.
Priorities.
Absolutely. It's a nice shot there by Jason. He didn't quite get a roll, so it is open, and Chris Medford and his team just electing to try and nose it. Those 2 yellow stones now in front of that blue Gauthier stone. Another option for Jacques would be to potentially peel the guard, but still trying to maybe get things going here as it's still early in the end.
A reminder, we're tied 1-1. Team Gauthier with the hammer here playing the third.
And if you think Will's in a closet, just be aware he's not. I did ask him that if he was locked away in a closet, and he's not.
This world-class facility, it has 8 sheets, a fabulous kitchen, great banquet spaces, but it also has a draw coordinator's room, and that's where I am right now. So thanks for the club for letting me use this space. But yeah, just a great facility that's really been mapped out and designed strategically with curling in mind, as well as with it being a community center. But definitely a lot of the special things in this club are because thanks to manager Bruce Wenrick, who was a real big part of the developing of this club, was instrumental in making sure that the things a curling club needs were taken care of when this facility was built by the city of Chilliwack.
It's just, I so wish I could be there, Will, in person. And I'm so excited to see everything that's happening here. And like you say, Bruce and his whole committee or his whole staff and all the host committee, everyone has just done a bang up job in making this such an incredible championship.
Hmm. They have done a really great job, and just an example of how many people are involved in running this particular championship is they had 100 shirts made up for all of the volunteers, but they've had 120 people volunteer. So people are having to just leave their shirt each day so that the other volunteers are able to wear them, and after the event they'll sort out how to rectify that. But yeah, just an example: 120 people are what it takes to make this championship a success, along with the staff of the curling club and the contractors and all that. So a big shout out to the whole city of Chilliwack, particularly the members of the Chilliwack Curling Club who have really made this the success it is so far this week, and I'm sure they'll continue to do that as we crown a champion towards the end of the weekend.
Almost got the roll in behind there, Will, and that would have been pretty dangerous there for Team Gauthier. So great shot for Team Medford. Looks like they're sitting two.
So I guess the talk here is which way to draw, Melissa? Any other options on this one?
Well, I mean, he could try the hit and roll himself, but I think that rock is just behind the tee line. So he wants to get something maybe tee line or better. But that rock's pretty close to the button as well, Will. So you got to make sure you get shot rock here. I'd
Yeah, they are
almost be,
big buttons here at Chilliwack, but you're
they
right.
really are.
It's a
Yeah.
small. Um, I kind of see this as a shot that might really shrink your scoring area a little later in the end, but it's a good call here with that rock behind the tee line.
Yeah, you think you'd almost be tempted to get rid of that stone, but I can see why he's drawing. If he can get one in a good place here, just biting top button would be ideal. You don't want to be heavy here. Not the best outcome there for Sterling. As you can see, it just kind of tapped it on an angle. So the hit and roll is available now for Chris Medford.
This will be skips first here in the third end. Team Gauthier has the hammer.
Chris here looking for a little hit and roll towards the center line. Looks like they're trying to sweep it to curl a bit. Oh, he's on and off.
A little bit of a sigh of relief there, probably for Team Gauthier. That was a good opportunity if you were ever to get the roll inside.
Exactly. So Team Gauthier's thinking here is they only have two stones left, obviously, and they do have the hammer, and they're in a position right now where they're potentially going to be forced to one, or obviously don't want to give up a steal. So they got to find a way. I think they're playing the hit and roll on this one. They got to find a way to kind of get away from that back yellow stone. So hit a roll out to the top four, top button, and get fully buried, and then they might have a chance on either side to draw for their two if that were to be open to them. You see Sterling have a quick line there. I don't think the double really does you much, Will, at this point, and not to get two anyways.
No.
It doesn't look like this one's going to curl as much either. Ooh, bit of a
So,
mistake there by Jacques Gauthier.
mm.
He's not going to like the result of that one.
If you're Team Medford here, Melissa, I guess you can take this out turn shot away, but the problem is that leaves the in-turn draw. Is that maybe the discussion here happening, or so they're maybe looking at drawing themselves?
I think what's important here is you have to decide what's your end goal. I mean, stealing is always a great thing, but I believe the end goal for Chris Medford right now is to force his opposition to a single point here. So I kind of like the outturn. Maybe even if you put it top 12, it's fine. You can even actually come, sort of what we call the Christmas tree, half eight, half buried between those, between those two rocks. Leave the other turn for Jacques to make his shot. We haven't thrown on that side, pardon me, all end.
Great
So
point.
yeah, so you're throwing that shot against three,
Mhm.
potentially three. So
Yeah,
I do
I,
like the
I
shot a
agree.
lot. This is a really good call by Chris. Key here is not to come too deep. I mean, if it's light and it's not in the rings, that's okay too.
Tasmeti and Young just getting the runway clean for their skipper there. Tersmeti, sorry. Mispronunciation there. Sweepers seem to like it.
I'd say that's a pretty good result.
Mm-hmm. So last rock here in the third end. The score is 1-all. Team Gauthier with the hammer. So like you said, it's sort of, if that was the goal, sort of mission accomplished for Team Medford this end, Melissa, regardless of this shot.
100% agree. Yep, they forced Team Gauthier to throw to the side that they haven't played on for a while. Like we haven't really used this side throughout this whole end. And he's drawing against two, so needs full 4 foot, almost a piece of the button. These guys are working hard to get it there. And I
Great shot.
think, what a shot, what a brush by the front end.
So that'll be a score of 1 for Team Gauthier to wrap up this third end. So team Team Gauthier is leading by 1 without the hammer, playing the fourth. We'd like to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor of the BC Scotties, Best Western. And Curl BC members can take advantage of the exclusive rates when booking directly at a Best Western by going to bestwesternbc.com/curling and providing the corporate rate ID code of 015048820. So please use the Best Western corporate ID code when you're traveling worldwide through the Best Western hotels and resorts. I didn't see the call, Melissa. Was Alex asked to go a guard here or into the rings?
I believe tight, yeah, a guard.
Perfect.
And Will, do you want to talk a little bit about the no tick rule?
Absolutely. So this championship is playing the no tick rule. So on the because this leads to a world men's and world women's championship, the rules are mimicked just as they will be there. So so the no tick rule is in effect for this championship. If there's ever a question about whether that rock is on the center line or not, the umpires have a square that they bring out onto the ice. So there's two of them there in case it needs to get measured at the same time. And so the umpire comes out and makes a call to let the teams know whether that rock is in fact a center guard or not, which decides on whether that rock could be ticked or not.
The first rock there by Blair Jarvis, you can see it there just to the back of the 12 foot, just a little heavy. So give us an opportunity now for Alex Horvath to bury one above the tee line behind his corner or center guard.
Alex has been playing this lead position now for a few years, I think, Melissa.
Yeah, he has. He's played a couple of different positions and he skipped for a while too, but um, when you win a World Junior Championship at lead, you know that's probably a pretty good position for you and that you enjoy it.
He's really
And
mastered it.
he really has, and he's such a phenomenal sweeper as well. So plan B there for Alex was to go back to was a bit heavy, so they made the call to go back to that yellow stone at the back of the 12 foot. So the shot call here was actually to go around the center guard top four. Again, really need this to be in the top of the, or above the tee line, pardon me. And that's a great, great shot.
That's what you're looking for, Melissa.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. Jason Ginter with his first, he's going to try and actually corner freeze to that stone just thrown by Blair. This looks pretty close there, Will.
Nice sweep in there from the guys. Nicely executed shots here after those first two were a little heavy. Made no mistake these last two. Mitch Young here being asked to peel the guard.
That's a great shot. And you saw Chris thinking about it for a bit. He was debating whether to come in again or not, but he didn't really like the way things were lining up for his team, so he decided to peel that guard and get rid of it. I like this call by Jacques, just throwing another center guard up. You can
I do
try and
too, Melissa. Those angles of the blue look quite good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be up to Chris to make a decision on what he's going to do to, to prevent anything bad from going on. And right now, he's just happy to peel these guards off.
Would he ever run that into the pile at all, or is that just too risky?
Ah, I don't think he's looking at that because I do think it is a little risky at this
Hmm.
point. That blue stone is probably only a foot apart from the yellow shot stone. And if you ever jam it, you're also jamming the opposition guard that you're running in as well.
Well, this will be interesting. So we put this back up again, and it'll be decision time for Team Medford. The later in the end that Team Gauthier can maintain that blue rock in front of the yellow, I think is advantageous. So I think this guard makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, I agree, Will. If Chris does keep peeling this guard and just getting rid of it, eventually what's going to happen is Jacques going to make a play on the one in the rings, the one that's sitting top eight, and try and tap it back. So there's a potential there that they could sit three at some point here, and that's maybe what he's going to start talking about now.
So what are you saying? Just hit that a little bit on the right-hand side, the blue one on the center line, Melissa, and that would maybe and would leave you sitting three.
I think so. Yeah, you could just throw probably. I don't know if backline's enough. Maybe hack.
I was going to ask you to draw it up, but it looks like Jacques just did that for
He
us.
sure did. And what they're trying to do at the end of this, I mean, job number one is to try and get that yellow one out of the way. Job number two is to try and keep your blue stones as far apart as possible so that you're not grouping them for an easy double for your opposition. Doesn't have a lot of ice here, Will, so he may be throwing a little more than hack. I'm going to say he's probably throwing close to easy anyways. Control, easy, however.
Sterling Middleton.
Oh, that was so close to being perfect, but I actually think, Rill, do you agree that the Yellowstone might be shot rock?
Yellow is shot rock from my perch here, yeah. So I'm not sure why he's looking at the double when couldn't you just hit the outside one and sit two, Melissa?
Or draw for two? Like draw towards the blue one
Fair
on the
enough. Yeah,
left-hand
draw
side?
towards the wing. Interesting. That's another.
I don't know why you'd play a hit if your shot's stone. I mean, that one's kind of almost like a little half guard or something, really.
I
Uh,
guess you're trying to bring those back ones into play, but I'm just
yeah.
not 100% on this one.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure I agreed with that call either, that's for sure. I believe is it the score, Will? Is it 1-1?
2-1 for
2-1.
Goche. And Medford has hammer. So
Right, 2-1 for Team Goche.
yeah.
Sorry, someone was just asking on the chat, and of course I forgot.
And I will try to do that a couple times each end, everybody. So if I do forget, just type it in the chat and that process will work fine. I know it's tough to see those scoreboards.
So a little opening here now for Team Goche. As you see there, Will, they've got a chance to sit. If they can hit this Yellowstone and roll towards the left, they can actually be sitting three, I think, at the end of the shot. I mean, ideally, you want to be sitting two for sure.
So anywhere on that center line side, really.
Exactly, yeah. You want to force Team Medford to have to take a single here.
Jason Ginter's on this one early.
What a shot. That's even better. Doubles out everything at the back there and now sits 3. What a great shot by Jacques Gauthier. Will, we have some questions about the score. It looks like they've got Gauthier scoring 2 in the third end, but I think he only scored 1.
In the third end, it
He
was just
drew,
one. Yeah, we
yeah, he
saw
drew
that. So I
against
think
2.
that's an issue online. The umpires will help get that rectified. So thanks for letting us know that on the chat there.
I'll reach out to our people. In a perfect situation here, they would hit this one on the center line side and roll their shooter over, stays in play, and completely misses the one in the back. But you can see where he's got the broom. He's going to be throwing it hard. So if he doubles out the one in the back, he's totally okay with that. The goal here for Jacques Gauthier is he does want to lie 2 and force Team Medford to have to take their single.
Horvath is on this one early.
And it just rolls out. Nice shot, but job done. And for Chris Medford now, he has a draw to pretty much the 8-footer better for 1 point. And for those of you just wondering, we are going to double check the score. We do believe it's only 2-1 for Team Gauthier, but we will let you know once we.
Right after this end, I'm going to walk out this door and have a look for everybody.
Oh, you can do that, can't you?
Yeah, and I need to go speak with my friend next out there anyhow, so it'll be a perfect little task.
Okay.
Yeah. But first, I want to see if this draw is made. The ice has been fabulous for draws all week, thanks to Mike Merklinger and James Michaluk. All week, we're only on day 1 here. I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
Feels like we've been there a while, hey, Will. This looks pretty darn good. Great shot there by Chris Medford and putting 1 on the board. Okay, Will, make a run for it. All right, we will confirm the score shortly, but right now we do believe it is 2-2. And we're heading into the 5th end of play. Team Medford versus Team Gauthier. I'll just update a couple other scores for you. De Jong is playing Robillard, and it is 5-1 for Team De Jong. We have a 3-0 lead, Team Montgomery over Team Pierce. And Team Cheka, 5-1 lead over Team Cotter after 3. And just to confirm our score, it is indeed 2-2. It was just a little mistake on our scoring end. So it's 2-2 after 4 ends of play. First rock, center guard by Blair Jarvis.
Hello, Melissa.
Chris Medford just looked right into the camera. That was funny. Hi, Chris.
So
Hi,
the
Will.
score is 2-2 here
Okay.
playing the fifth end. I was able to have a little look-see.
All right, perfect. I just updated the scores for us too, Will, while I was waiting for you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for thanks for doing that.
Doing your job. It's okay.
Speaking of doing my job, we would also like to give a huge shout out to the province of BC and Via Sport for providing a Hosting BC grant for this event. We were able to use the Hosting BC grant to support the host committee as well as enhance the coverage of this event through CBC as well as Czech TV. So big shout out to the province of BC, Hosting BC for their support.
Fantastic. So great start there for Alex Horvath. Makes a perfect draw behind that center guard. And now Blair trying to corner freeze to it if he can. This one looks a little wide. And unfortunately, just a little heavy, Will, so it does sneak to the back 8 foot.
Alex will get to try to do the always nice to try to throw the same thing you just threw pretty nicely. So looking to put this one in the top 8 foot, top 12 foot, Melissa.
Yeah, I think so. Even if you freeze yours, as long as it's like a dead-on freeze, you don't want to corner freeze it and provide any opportunity for a double.
On this type of ice, the goal really is just to kind of throw that tight guard, isn't it, or top of the house, and let your sweepers really do the rest. It's just such great ice to manage a rock down.
Exactly. Yep. So two great shots there by Alex. So now an opportunity. It looks like for Chris, it's he's going to try and get some rocks in play. He's going to play the corner freeze now on using the other side of the sheet. This is a big shot, Will, right now because if you're Team Medford, if you miss a shot, you're in a little bit of trouble early in this end. So big shot here for Mitchell. Oh, and I think they overswept it a bit. Just just ticks off.
Yeah, Alex did a really nice job of making after the other lead missed, and now here's another chance to make after a slight miss. So a made shot here. You could see a lot of pressure on Team Medford here early in this fifth end. Sorry, a make here from from Team Gauthier. What do you think the call is here, Melissa?
I think Jason's just throwing about hack weight here, and that guard is, about halfway, so there is some room to get around it. But they would love to get to the face of that yellow stone. You can see Alex trying to get it to curl.
Pretty
And he
nice
just
result.
very good result. Just had a quick timeout there as the Wi-Fi needed to kick in.
And I'll quickly go around the rings here for you. De Jong is leading Robillard 4-1, playing the fifth end. Uh, Robillard has the hammer, playing 5. Pierce is tied with Montgomery. Montgomery has the hammer, playing 5. It's 2-all. Medford 2-2 in this game, obviously, and the Cheka Cotter game right now has Paul Cheka leading Jim Cotter 3-1 with the hammer, playing the fifth end. There are 2 women's games as well happening right now. And in those games, Team Brown's up 4-1 on Reese Hansen. Reese Hansen has the hammer, and Team Grandy is trailing Team Ryan by 1 with the hammer, playing the fourth end. Just looking to hit and roll inside here, Melissa, or
Yeah, I think so, Will. They're trying to get as much curl on this rock as possible. And that's a really good shot. Chris looked pretty happy. That one hit it, you could see it hit just slightly on the angle, so there might be just a smidge more room now to actually get right to the face of the stone, depending on the weight. This is a weight shot for sure. Again, sweeping for curl. Pretty much the same result in the last 3 rocks, Will, on the same shot. It didn't quite get over enough.
yeah, I think it was good he didn't roll away though, because at least now it's a hit and roll rather than a double, maybe.
Yeah, I would agree. It did roll about a rock's width, so it just
Yeah,
depends on the angle here. I think he's playing the hit and roll though.
yeah. Looking to make this one curl now, and can't quite see if it got made. Jacques in the way right now.
I think by the way Jacques isn't moving, I'm going to say it was made pretty well. Maybe they'll let us see it here. I don't know. No, I still can't quite see it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, wonderful shot. So just looking now to looks like Melissa, was it oh, not quite made the call yet. Sorry about that.
So there's some hesitation there, Will, as you could see, and basically they're not comfortable with that yellow hitting that yellow stone on the right hand side, because if you hit the yellow stone, there's a chance that you can drive it back on your blue shot stone. And then they talked about maybe coming on the outturn side and tapping things around a little bit. But again, it's there's not a lot of room to play with here, so they went with maybe the most straightforward shot call is just to get rid of that center guard.
Team Gauthier probably happy to blank this end if they could. Hey, Melissa?
I would think so. I would think so, but there's some work to be done, obviously, before
Yeah.
that happens.
Hmm.
But that was obviously the reason for the peel as well. Instead of trying to bring another rock in and move things around, by peeling that, it kind of opens it up and makes Chris Medford have to make a decision here as well. Unfortunately for Steve, that one didn't quite curl enough, so it didn't go straight back. It did push their Yellowstone out a bit. So Team Gauthier still line one.
Like he's asking for a intern hit and roll away.
Just trying to think, Will, if there was any way to potentially draw, but there's not really any great place to draw, is there?
No, there wasn't, and I think the wisdom they showed there was the weight selection on that hit call. Really nice control weight. You could have maybe drawn down to that rock, but there wasn't really an easy place to put the broom to do it. So looking to make the double here.
So it looks like now they're talking about oh, are they talking about the draw? That was the first indication. And I think he's elected to hit. Hey, Will, and
It does look
yeah,
like the hit has been called.
it just looks like if you hit in that position, though, are you not? I mean, there's not a lot of room to roll to the outside. But I guess what he's trying to do is if he gets it into a position where when they play the double, the shooter rolls out, then the blank would be alive.
Mhm.
So there's still a chance here, I think, for the blank.
Another option here, Melissa, would just be to what would the other option be other than the hit here? Just a freeze or splitting of the rings?
Well, I think they talked about drawing around that yellow guard or yellow rock that's top 12, which I don't think is a bad call in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean that double is definitely there, but it looks like the hit and roll is the call here. A smart call. Making sure you're getting something out of the shot. At least trying to get shot rock after this at a minimum.
Final stone here for Chris in this fifth end. And unfortunately for Chris, he did not roll in nor make the double. And like you say, Will, I think he's playing the hit and roll. And so it is, I don't know, is he hitting for two?
He is drawing for two, I
Drawing for two.
believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I think too.
I think these guys, if they were throwing that hit, they'd have about half or a quarter of that ice. They don't seem to take a lot of ice. This team Gauthier, or don't seem to need to take a lot of ice for those hits. So I think this looks like the draw to me.
I would agree.
Watch them throw
Sterling,
control weight now and hit it.
Sterling's just maybe messing us up a bit.
You see Sterling there just catching a hog to hog time, so he can provide a little bit of information to his sweepers and just to give them that confirmation that they have the right instinct. And Shock continues to have fantastic draw weight in this game with a nice draw for two to take a little bit of control in the fifth end of this game. So we will have a short fifth end break now, and we will see you after the break.
Any other exciting catch up, Will, from any of the other games while we start our fifth end break?
Absolutely. Just give me a moment here. I will get you up to date on that. So it is Brown continues to be up 4-1 playing the fifth end of the on the of the women's A bracket there, and Grandy was able to score three against Team Ryan in the fourth end. So taking a 5-3 lead now, playing the fifth end is Team Grandy over Team Ryan. And on the men's side, we have Team Zhejiang leading 4-1 over Team Robillard playing the fifth end. Pierce was able to score two to tie things up with Montgomery playing the fifth end now. And finally, Czech and Cotter are still at 3-1.
Great. So I think we're going to take a little break ourselves as the commentators, and we'll see you back here in about 2.5 minutes.
Thanks, everyone.
Welcome back, Will.
Thanks for welcoming me back.
Looks like we're a couple rocks underway here in the sixth end of play, draw 3 of the BC Men's Championship.
A couple nice, three nice shots. It looks like they're actually a draw to the top of the 4 from Alex Horvath, a nice corner guard from Team Medford, followed by a nice tight center from Alex there, Melissa.
Yeah, good way to start this sixth end. And looks like Chris is asking Blair to freeze to that one that's top 4. It is slightly exposed on the center line side. If it was fully covered, I think you would have seen him probably go behind his corner guard.
Nice shot. It looked like Jacques was given a couple of options there, but the outcome he wants is a corner freeze to one of those stones. Hey, Melissa?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to corner freeze the Yellowstone, I think, ideally. With that 2-point lead for Team Gauthier, they do have a little bit of breathing room. They would love to force Team Medford to a single point here in the sixth end, the even end. So they'll continue to apply the pressure.
I can't remember Team Gauthier missing many draws in this game. Maybe one early in the game, a little bit heavy and wide, but other than that, they have really had really been throwing it to their sweepers, Melissa, throughout this game. I felt.
Yeah, that's a great point, Will. And I think you're bang on there. And that's such an important aspect to this game. It's such a draw game, obviously, and you see your front end or your sweepers in general just working really hard to be as fit as possible and as strong as possible to do as much as they can to um, manage the rocks and have as much effect on the rocks as possible. I think I thought the plan there was to hit that um, blue guard, Will, and sort of roll the shooter in behind your yellow corner guard. But I guess it didn't curl enough, and it was quite a bit of weight, actually, more weight than I would have expected.
Hmm. With the 2-point lead, I guess Team Gauthier can't ignore this rock out here in the 12-foot, Melissa.
I don't mind this call. I mean, they also could potentially peel the corner guard as well. I think we're on the right number of rocks there. Yeah, number 6. But I see what he's doing. Like he's just eliminating anything in the rings right now and forcing Team Medford to have to make them more difficulty shots, more degree of difficulty shots.
Yeah, if the game were a bit closer, you might see him throw a center guard or something in this
Hmm.
circumstance.
I don't think you really want to leave your rock right there, though.
Well, yeah, I noticed I'm talking about maybe it being better just to roll out because all of a sudden now it's a short little run back that may leave a yellow rock behind a corner guard. So I didn't hate the guard on that last call, but in any case, that 2-point lead does support eliminating opposition stones.
Yeah, but I would agree with you. I think maybe hitting and rolling out what may have been a preferred choice there.
And in
You don't,
fairness to Jacques, he did signal that, so that might have even been the call.
true,
Yeah.
true.
But he does do a nice job of laying out all the options on every shot, I noticed. So he also might have just been chatting it through. In any case, looking to run this back now and catch it a little bit on the left-hand side of the blue rock it's being run into. Slight over curl here. Looks like Medford is lying second shot here, Melissa.
I would agree.
And right now that center line rock could be run back, but it looks like the outside rock would be a little tougher to run back. I'm not sure it's not there, but it looks a little tougher to run back that rock that's not on the center line. So what's Jacques asking here for? Just a center guard to
Yeah, it looks like a kind of an in-between of those two yellow stones. Not usually a big fan of guarding second, your opposition who's sitting second stone, but there's not really a lot more he can do at this point. So this will force Team Medford to have to make a decision on what they want to do if he can put this guard in a good place.
a little further than they thought, or maybe that was the call coming right in.
I don't think it was. I
No,
think it was meant to be short.
yeah.
I don't think that that's where you wanted that rock. I think you can hit this one pretty much on the nose, Will. It's hard to see those blue stones, whether they're identically side by side, but I think that one that was just thrown maybe an inch deeper.
Right on the nose might get them both, you're thinking?
I'm not sure because I don't think that
Ooh, and
they're.
just a little caught that guard and we'll leave Team Gauthier sitting two. Looks like the concern here for Jacques is that there might be a half rock double, but a well-placed guard here should take that away.
Yeah, I would agree.
If me and Melissa sound a little bit disconnected right now, it's because I'm able to see the future. She's a couple of seconds behind me, so we're working together to work through this. But just in case we sound a little disconnected in this moment, that is why I am seeing things before her.
Okay, I'm just seeing them stop sweeping right now, Will.
Perfect. I'm going to talk on your speed, so I'll just
Okay.
I'll be no problem. And but perfect. Yeah, that guard is nicely placed.
Unless you
Although
whisper things to me and then I'll know and then I could predict what happens.
so I'm sorry, I misspoke. It doesn't look like that guard did quite curl enough, so they might actually have that kind of half rock double, but it may jam on that uh rock that we thought they should have maybe rolled out on a while back. It might actually all of a sudden be helping Team Goche.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what else you do other than as what Chris is indicating is run the blue
Yeah,
onto yellow.
I think
I
this
think,
is the shot that is most likely to help you score this end. And right now, I think that's the goal here is just to get out of this end with a point. However, there are a couple of yellow rocks in the rings if you do happen to make a run back here.
and watch for the back jam. Oh, and unfortunately does catch that one at the back. Gets rid of that Team Medford rock. So
Well,
Again,
we're on
I
to Skip's first here, Melissa. So Gautier's first, leading by 2. What's he being asked to do?
I think he's going to throw up the guard again, and this time, maybe manage it so it gets another inch over the center line. As you were pointing out, that you could probably see half of that rock bluestone on the right-hand side of the button, and that's enough to make the double now, especially because that rock at the back is gone.
Mhm.
So that's the side that you want to cover. This one might be a tiny bit heavy, so you can see them just leaving it. Oh, actually, it might be over curling. Ooh, I think they've left that yellow one, Will.
I agree, and can definitely obviously get one of the blues. It'll be a matter of whether that one on the button will also leave play. I'm not sure the momentum it's going to have. The rock that's touching the center line, I'm not sure how much momentum it's going to have here. Being that you'll be hitting the outside of the right hand blue rock.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be really tough to remove both for sure.
But you can definitely open up the scoring zone here. So that's the big thing here is get those 2 blues out of the 4 foot. So for your last one, you can have a little more area to draw to, hopefully.
So Chris Medford here with his first. And this one, they're trying to hold it for line, and it might be, oh, it's close. Didn't throw a lot of weight. I was expecting a bit more weight, Will.
Hmm.
But he did manage to push one of the bluestones back. It's sitting third shot, so Team Gauthier is first and third. If you wanted to be really aggressive here, if you were Team Gauthier, you could play a hack waiter at that yellow stone that's just biting the button and try and roll under.
Hmm.
Think you need to be that aggressive with a 2 point lead here in 6.
And
So it looks like
they weren't hits, but there have been some undercurls on this side of the sheet this game. So I can see why as long as there isn't a really easy run back for multiple points, this guard might be the call, Melissa.
I think so, and I think they actually indicated this might actually be coming into the top 8, but I
Oh,
think
that's smart. Yeah,
yes, I think that's the first call, and plan B would probably be short.
thank you.
So this is the last rock for Team Gauthier. You can see them trying to bring this in as far as possible, preferably top 8, but I think it's just going to overcurl a bit. And I think that's a pretty good spot, Will.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I
You're sort
don't.
of forcing a really challenging. I think you're forcing that a couple challenging run backs that get you multiple points, but they are very challenging shots, Melissa. So I think if your team Goche, you're saying mission accomplished here.
I think so too. I think for Chris, they're looking obviously at both run backs as you mentioned. I was actually looking to see if you threw the out turn on that Yellowstone that's top 12, because it's coming with the out turn and it's over curling. I was wondering if that shot is there on the kind of the straight tap back as well, but
That's
they haven't
very
looked at
similar to
that.
the shot he just threw too. So
Hmm.
it's yeah, I think that might be there actually. So what you're saying there is just like an out turn hit on the yellow rock in the top 12.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. I think that's there as well.
And I don't think they've actually looked at it. They're kind of looking at the two far corner guards on either side.
If I had to pick um, one of the run backs, I think I'd pick the left one. Not just because
Agree.
it's shorter, but it looks like it's a little easier to save your shooter.
I agree. Yep. And you're also hitting, you have no, you can't really, I don't think you can damage yourself as much as if you hit the other yellow one and you double yours off. I guess it would
Oh
still
yeah,
be,
that's
oh,
a
it would be a
multiple
steal
point
of two.
score.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So, but I'm not sure if they've looked at the one in the middle there for some reason. Maybe it's tighter than we can tell from here.
Just a reminder, we are playing 10 end games here at the 2023 BC Men's. So this is the sixth end, an all important sixth end, but we are playing 10 ends, so not as important if it was an 8 end game.
That's right. And both teams do have two 90-second timeouts if they choose to use them. And I don't believe we've used one yet. I don't think that team Medford has a coach here with them.
They do not. I had the good fortune of sitting with them at the banquet yesterday, and they've put a lot of kilometers on their car as a team of 4 guys this year. They've been traveling this beautiful province of British Columbia, playing BC curling tour events to find their way here to the BC Men's.
I like to follow them on Facebook as they say how many miles they're going per trip and stuff. It's pretty interesting to watch and obviously very challenging traveling that far over the highways this time
Yes,
of
I
year.
I learned that when they get into a town a little late in the day, it's a rotisserie chicken dinner is their special team meal.
All right, big shot here for Chris Medford. Possibility, Will, if he makes this right, I mean, there's always the chance of catching that one on the back as well. You never know. He's close. Oh, what a
What a
shot.
shot. Isn't able to save the
Fantastic.
shooter, but a great shot for one there, Melissa.
What a terrific shot for one.
So playing the seventh end, Team Gauthier will now be leading by 1 with the last rock advantage. We'll quickly go around the rings here for you and let you get an update for you. Team Robillard managed to get themselves back in the game by scoring 3 to tie things up at 4-all with Team De Young. Jason Montgomery was able to score 1 in the fifth end to take a 3-2 lead over Brent Pierce playing the sixth end. Pierce has hammer. We know the Gauthier score now is 4-3. Gauthier has the hammer playing the seventh end. And in the Cheka Cotter game, Jim Cotter was able to score 1 in the fifth. So Team Cheka leading 3-2 with the hammer playing the sixth end. And over in our women's games, Team Reese Hansen was able to score 2 in the fifth to pull themselves within 1. So it's 4-3 for Team Brown playing the sixth with hammer. And Team Grandy is now leading 5-3 after scoring a 3-ender in the fourth end. What did I miss in this game while I was doing those updates, Melissa?
I've been I've been texting with our producer, so I'm sorry I missed the first rock here.
So it looks like the center guard a little bit of an error for that first one. It looks like the guard slipped in the rings and Team Gauthier rolled out on their nose hit, but they're happy with the being able to play a hit in this seventh end with the hammer, I think.
And now that I've mentioned it, I better give another shout out to our producer, Mr. Luca Saligo, my nephew, 13 years old and doing a bang up job here. And thanks, Luca, for all you're doing.
Doing awesome.
Takes after me.
He does.
All right, no mistake on this second rock here, Will. They get the center guard up.
And here's an example, Melissa, where in the old game, we say the game we were playing last year, where you might have seen the tick shot called in when the control when you have the hammer and the lead in a game like this.
Yep, and as we know, it's the no tick shot rule. So any rock that's touching the center line in the free guard zone, you're not allowed to move it off the center line.
The
Just trying to
teams will
make,
have these same rules in London for the Briar, and then who's ever successful at the Briar will run into these same rules at the World Championship. So and the teams have had lots of time to practice this. Most of the tour events were playing the no tick rule. There was only a few who opted out.
a nice shot there by Alex. And Mitchell trying to follow him down. Took the other turn here, trying to get to the face of that blue stone.
Jason Ginter being asked to throw the corner freeze here.
I don't know if you heard that, Will, but my dogs came running in. Sound like a herd of elephants.
Say hi to Sadie for me,
I
please.
shall. I shall. She's wondering when I'm gonna go and play with her. Oh, what a beauty shot. Really great positioning there for the team Gauthier Rocks.
Yeah, angles are good. So Chris Medford asking to kind of change those a little bit here. I think Melissa, it might have been a tap he called here or
Yeah,
a
I think
freeze.
so.
Yeah.
I think that's what Chris needs to do. Try and tap that yellow one either straight back or a little on the angle.
And as you mentioned earlier, Team Medford was down 7-2 on Sean Gill, so they're used to coming back. So playing with a bit of a deficit here is something they've been used to today, anyhow. Just didn't quite curl enough for him.
It actually just ticked off the top one there, I think, Will, and kind of spun out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Again, just a huge shout out to Mike Merklinger and his entire crew here for the fabulous ice conditions that we're seeing.
Absolutely. And I've just got a message that my battery is a little low on my laptop, so I am going to escape here for 35 seconds while I go grab that charger.
Sounds good. Looks like Jason Ginter is being asked to hit that yellow stone that is wide open there. I don't think that they would attempt the double. Would love to leave this stone right there to be used. That's a great shot. Rolls over to in front of that other Medford stone. Welcome back, Will.
Thank you very much. Happy
You
to
only
be
missed
here.
one rock. Well, one and a half. Here's the second one here.
Well, fortunately, our event manager, Lindsay Shannon, was met me halfway down the stairs there. I did a little foreshadowing, and teamwork makes the dream work, as they say.
Oh, that's fantastic. And what a great shot here by Team Medford. Not only did they remove one from play, but they pushed the one that was on the 4 foot right out of the rings there to the back 12. There's some great shot making by both teams here.
I'm going to speak with Mr. Medford about where he stands on these away
I
ends,
know.
Melissa. He just picks that spot on us. There we go. Looks like the double is the call here, Melissa.
I think so.
I'm not sure where that back yellow goes in all of this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to ask Krista just slide over a little. And misses the back one. That's a great shot. It does leave yellow, I believe, sitting shot rock, but it definitely clears things up around the middle area. You know, if you're Chris Medford here and your team, you're drawing to set a second point, but you got to think there's three other opposition stones sitting in the rings right now, and you do not have hammer, so no pressure on this one.
It's a
And
little
will
warm.
it's so important that that stayed for second shot. It's close. Oh, I think he just outlined it for us. Did you catch all that?
He's very nice about doing that. I have to. Jacques is always looks like it's yellow, blue, yellow.
I think it's yellow. I thought it was blue, yellow, but
Can you just rewind for me, Melissa?
yeah. Can our producer do a rewind?
Maybe tomorrow. Hey, Luca.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looks like that blue one's fully into the 8, so that's second shot for sure. And I'm gonna guess the blue on the back left is third shot, Will.
And the
But
short run back here is the call. So this could leave team Gauthier lying 3, if our assumptions are all correct.
um
Oh,
yeah, I don't think that was the call. I think it was the short run back, as you said, and you could see that they were originally trying to sweep. Alex was trying to sweep for curl, and then they changed their mind at the last minute just to do a tick. So, I mean, good call there. Good audible by Jacques Gauthier.
so we're on Medford's last. Gauthier has last rock here. So one more rock to come for both teams.
And it looks like I guess they can't quite see all of that shot stone. It looks like he's maybe playing a freeze.
Freeze or a guard, I think, Melissa. But the guard would just leave a double on that
Yeah.
other side, eh?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you're
don't
right.
think
He's playing the
guard.
freeze.
Okay.
I should never question you.
I know. I thought you've learned this before.
I'm a slow learner.
Silly Will. Yeah, they need to get this in for second shot for sure. This looks good.
Oh, looks like that back stone might have been touched a little, but they're
I
just
think
having a
so.
gentlemanly conversation about it.
And it looks like we're going to have our first time out, Will.
First time out, yes.
And I'm
Brian
guessing,
Mickey is the coach of Team Gauthier, so we will see a full interaction here with the coach. Team Medford does not have a coach, so they'll just have a chance to have a little touch base.
obviously, the discussion here is, can they bring some of the other blue ones into play? But I really don't know how you get rid of that yellow stone that was just thrown by Chris Medford. Here comes coach. Not supposed to run on the ice.
So Brian Mickey now coaching this men's team, lots of experience coaching youth teams. His son Josh is also in this event, and obviously a world champion in his own right there with Greg McCauley back in 2000. So very knowledgeable person that they brought into this team, Melissa, for this season that they put together.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's been working out great for this team. And Brian's just bringing a wealth of knowledge, and they're always testing and training and trying out new things. And it's just been a great fit.
Wonderful. I will also give a little shout out here. Team Goche are members of the Curl BC High Performance Program, so it's nice that Brian and this whole squad are engaged in your HP program.
Yeah, it's been nice. So I think the options that they're looking at potentially here, Will, is, do you hit the one on the yellow one on the side and try and roll towards the center and maybe sit two? I'm really not sure that you can do much with that yellow shot that was just thrown by Chris, but again, that guard is so high, maybe there's a chance that you could throw backline weight and try and tap it out. But I think if you do that, you leave your shooter in a place that it might give Chris a double.
Exactly. Yeah, you took that. Yeah, exactly, Melissa. Where this shooter rolls is so important. Um, so yeah, this is a great call if you can punch that out of there and not roll very far. But if
Yeah,
you ever roll 6 to 12 inches, it could be a good chance for Team Medford.
I think so too. So huge shot here for Jacques Gauthier, but really trying to figure out a way to bring some of those other blue stones potentially into play. And putting Alex to work here, really trying to get this one to curl. Pretty good shot. Their
Yeah, very
shooter
nice.
rolled past that yellow second shot stone. But I think the job was done that they were looking to do. So Chris now has to make another difficult shot here, try and keep Team Gauthier to hopefully only get 1 point.
Opportunity here to potentially sit two, Melissa.
Well, and I think so, Will, and I'm not sure why he didn't play it on his first one to if you can see, if it curls that much and and the guard is so high that you can get enough to punch it back.
Hmm.
Could have maybe done that on the first one, but I think that's what they're talking about now. Chris would love to sit two here. Looks like they're asking for about backline weight, I think. You don't have to punch it right out of the rings, Will.
No.
Just would love to sit two at the end of this shot here. This looks pretty good. Oh, it's a great shot. I'd say they're line two. Do you agree?
I agree.
So it's the same shot for a single point, and you can see Sterling lining up the potential angle run double for multiple points.
As Sterling lines that up, Melissa, I'm just thinking about how we're going to get this away-end camera slightly higher for tomorrow. And so your angle will be similar to what you're seeing at the home end.
Yeah, I think if we could get another 5 feet higher, it would be ideal.
Well, we've got the team to do it here in Chilliwack.
All right, so they've elected to go with the definitely easier of the two shots, I would say. Looking for a nose hit here, Will, to score his single point. This looks good. And no mistake made. Great shot.
Makes no mistake, a wonderful shot for the single. That'll put us to 5-3 now, playing the eighth end here. So it's been a bit of a scrappy second half here for Team Medford, and giving them a chance here to, with a deuce in the eighth end, to get themselves back in this back all square in this ball game, Melissa.
Yeah, I agree. They've been playing really well, and as you said, they had a huge comeback earlier today. So they'll be looking now to score a deuce here in the all-important eighth end. Only 3 ends to go. And Team Medford with 2 hammers to 1. That's the first sort of half shot that we've seen by Alex Horvath, slipping to the back four. And Team Medford really doesn't want this rock in the rings, but unfortunately
Oh,
it is. So just a straightforward hit here for Team Gauthier, Alex Horvath. That's not a great way to start this end, Will, if you're trying to get two.
no, no, exactly. And if your team Goche, that'll just obviously you'll hit this rock and try to keep things as open as you can for the remainder of this end. Be great to if your team Goche, I think Melissa, you're happy to blank the end or you're happy to force. You're not really too concerned with scoring at this point.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I like the fact that they did try and hit and roll out, and they don't need a lot of rocks in play. So another chance here for Blair. Blair Jarvis trying to throw a corner guard. Makes no mistake on his second one.
Just a reminder, this is the A quarterfinal, so the winner of this will advance to the A semis, and the loser will drop to the B event, round of 16s, basically. So yeah, it's a early game here at the 2023 BC Men's Championship. That still in the event for both these teams.
Jason Ginter trying to get this one to the top of the rings. That's a nice shot. You know, Will, if you're Chris Medford, you saw him there. He first indicated coming around his corner guard, then he indicated potentially freezing to the one in the back four, and now he's calling the hit. You know, you're really trying to go a little bit aggressive here, I think, in this eighth end to try and get your two. And it's so early in the end. I would be very, very tempted not to throw this hit. Either one of those other two draws would probably be a preferred choice in my opinion.
Agreed, Melissa. These are rocks that are sort of based on the scoreboard right now, almost helping you if you needed them a little later in the end.
That's right. And if you ever had that, I mean, the way those two blue ones were set up, it was perfect for Team Medford, in all honesty. You have a guard and you have one behind the tee line. It was a
Mm-hmm.
perfect scenario. But they elected to hit the one in the top 12 and rolled not quite far enough. So an open hit here for Jason. This one's really curling.
Mm-hmm.
Great
It took
sweeping
a
here
long
by
time to get
Alex.
down here.
It did. It was seemed to go in slow-mo.
Chris just telling Alex that was some nice brushing, I think. I can read lips,
Again,
apparently, Melissa.
nice. Again for Chris, I don't think you want to be hitting this. I don't know why you're not drawing around that corner guard.
Right, or even tapping one of that blue in the top eight backwards and creating a pocket maybe or something. But there's definitely some other options, I think, based on the scoreboard right now.
Agree.
But yeah, I love that draw around the corner guard. That's the
You draw around that corner guard, you're full eight. I mean, your third shot, but you've still got lots of rocks left here. This hit and roll is so tough.
the biggest risk when you start playing those hits is if you ever roll out, that the end is just completely over really early in
Hmm.
the end. So it puts a little bit of pressure on that. But no mistake was made there. The hit and stick around was at least accomplished. Number 16, Sterling Middleton. Jason really did a great job of sweeping that one, and a nice shot there. Not ideal place to roll, but they were trying to get that one to curl as much as they could at the end to maybe prevent that roll. Hey, Melissa.
Yeah, that's definitely not the ideal roll. Just a quick shout out, Will. I mentioned it in the earlier broadcast, the Crow BC 50/50 fundraiser draw raffle. It is now up to $12,890 and the winner gets half. So if you are looking to buy tickets, you can go to crowbc.ca to purchase your tickets.
Absolutely. And just a reminder, you in the drop down, you're able to select who you would like to support. So if it's your home club or if it's maybe Chilliwack Curling Club who's hosting this event this week, we encourage you to select in the drop down who you'd like to support with the other part of that 50-50 split, and encourage you to buy a ticket either in person at the clubs who are selling them or online as Melissa instructed. Call here is just control weight, hit and stick, I think, Melissa.
Yeah, I think so. They pushed that blue Gauthier rock. Um, I think they were hoping that it would stay right behind them there, and instead of pushing it all the way out. So that's a great shot there. Nice control weight by Sterling. The opportunity was there for Team Medford if they could just, keep that bluestone closer to their Yellowstone. So, again, I think Chris is throwing a hit here. He could just throw the tap back weight, just move this one behind the tee line and roll under his corner guard. I'm not sure what kind of weight he's throwing, but this has a lot of curling to do.
So seeing Jacques there indicate he wants to roll away a little bit, Melissa.
Yeah, and I think that's a good idea. You definitely
Even
don't
if,
want
yeah,
to create a
I'm sorry.
pocket there. Little flip to the outside would be ideal. It just noses it. So great chance here for Chris Medford now to lock one on to that blue stone.
I'd be interested to see what their time clock says right now because he was sure in the hack and ready to throw.
Yeah, no kidding. They haven't used any of their timeouts yet, though, Will.
I
I
guess I
don't
could walk
think.
around the corner between ends here and give you all an update on the time clocks.
No, sorry, they did use one, didn't they?
Team Gauthier used one.
Used one. Yeah, I can't remember if team.
Oh no, Medford might have used one
I
before
think they
them
used
actually.
one as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
this
think
looks
so.
very good.
Nice shot.
Yes.
Can Jock punch that out through those two blue ones? It'll be tight, but I have a feeling there'll be some speed on this one. Great shot by Chris Medford, though.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised to see Jacques stick around on his first. I was a little surprised by the weight call, and
Agree.
but Chris did a great job there of capitalizing on a slight miss. So been seeing that a few times this game from both teams. It's good to see.
Not a lot of room for error on this one. And what a shot by Jacques
Wonderful shot.
Gauthier.
So last rock here in this eighth end.
And it is just one.
Just one. So
Wow.
one for Team Medford in the sixth end means it'll be five. Sorry, in the eighth end means it's going to be 5-4 playing the ninth end. Team Gauthier will have the hammer and the lead playing the ninth. And just quickly going around the rings here for you, Team Robillard, after forcing Team De Young to 1-6, was able to score 2, so they are now up 6-5. Playing the 7th end. If you don't remember, that game got off to a 4-1 start for De Young, so it's been all Robillard in 5, 6, and 7. The Pierce Montgomery game is tied at 3 apiece. Playing the 8th end, Team Montgomery has the advantage in that game right now. And in the Cheka Cotter game, Team Cotter has come up strong in the second half, scoring 2 in the 6th, and then a steal of 3 in the 7th to take the lead 7-3, playing the 8th end. Quickly just jump over to the women's to give you an update there. Reese Hansen is leading 7-4, playing the 8th end. Team Brown is leading 7-4 over Reese Hansen, playing the 8th end, and it's Team Brown with the hammer. And Team Grandy is, after stealing 7, is now up 8-7 on Team Ryan, playing the 8th end. So if you can get a couple of streams on your computer going, there's lots of great games to watch, and we're covering it all for you here. But back to this game with Melissa.
Yeah, and a nice corner or center guard, pardon me, thrown there by Team Medford and Blair Jarvis. And this is the second end in a row that Alex Horvath has come deep. I think one of the worst places you ever want to rock to stop, Will, is behind the button there. Back button. He won't be
And
happy with
obviously a
that for
freeze
sure.
is great if you're Team Medford, but if this was in the top of the house, Melissa, that would be okay too.
Yeah, and I think he's called for the freeze, so line is most important here right now. You want to get this in behind your card, and you don't want to be heavy. This looks really good. What a shot. Nice shot by Blair. So it looks like Alex is being called to throw the freeze himself. And that is 2 mistakes there by your lead, Alex Horvath. Alex will not be happy with those.
Mitch Young now is going to try to do what his lead man was able to do so nicely there on his second shot and make a freeze here.
Yeah, great pair there by Blair Jarvis. So Mitch Young now trying to follow up here, take advantage of that missed shot by Alex Horvath.
And I misspoke. Sorry, Melissa. Chris is smartly calling this a little bit higher than a freeze. There's probably no need to really come right to those 2 rocks at this early stage in the end. So sorry about that.
Will, you have a stranger behind you.
That's James Michaluk, our club head ice technician who's working with Mike Merklinger. So I'll just be a moment while I take that question.
Okay. Jason Ginter looking to try and double peel these 2 guards out front here and open things up for Team Gauthier. So far, a fabulous end being played by Team Medford.
I'm back, Melissa, and yeah, thanks to James for all the work. They started on the 6th, and they've been going pretty hard right up to today, and they'll continue to work hard for the next 3 or 4 days. So big thanks to James and Mike and the whole crew here on the ice crew at the Chilliwack Curling Club.
That's awesome.
What did I miss?
Medford came up through a nice guard, and Jason Ginter tried the double peel, and the yellow second guard there just rolled into the top of the 12 foot on the right hand side at 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
So another guard being thrown here, I believe, by Team Medford. I have to tell you, Will, just because it's funny, I have this dog staring at me right now and giving me these eyes like, what's going on? What are you doing? It's very discerning that he's just staring at me.
Well, he's not used to you talking to yourself.
I know.
Or she, sorry, she. Those that guard is high, but it is perfectly in line with that other guard,
It
other
really
rock.
is. So now they've taken the intern. They've seen this a number of times. We've played this side. They know
You really
exactly
want
what
to
it is.
you really want to release that rock of yours right now, and hopefully
Big
that yellow
time.
one can exit stage left. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great shot. That's exactly what they wanted to do. Team Medford would be very happy with a force here in 9. They just don't want to give up a deuce or anything more.
Unfortunate outcome there. Now that guard was rather high, but unfortunate to take it out, and really changes the complexion of this end.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Team Medford for sure. But a great opening here now for Sterling Middleton. I've got some company, Will.
Oh, who's that?
This is Finnegan.
Oh, hello, Finnegan.
He stays overnight on Wednesday nights because he goes to daycare with Sadie on Thursday, so he's hanging out.
It's like a big sleepover at the Saligos.
He said Luca saying hi. Finnegan says hi back, Luca. Oh, and just misses the back double. Finnegan says hi to Megan. She's in the chat just saying hi. Puppies are always a big win. Hey, buddy. Oh, Sterling, I think would have really liked to keep a shooter there, Will. But I don't know if there's really a double there on those two blues, is there? Be a pretty steep double.
Be pretty steep. Might be hard to save the shooter if you were to make it. Yeah,
So it looks like maybe a hit and flop in front of that other one.
absolutely. And while this hit and flop's being thrown, just a big shout out to our sponsors and suppliers at Curl BC. Ice King provides the scraper that's being used for this championship, and that goes along around all the championships. So a big shout out to Ice King for that. Also a big thank you to AMJ Campbell, who helps to ensure that all of the equipment you're seeing for this event gets to each one of those locations. So big shout out to those sponsors who support Curl BC with equipment and supplies and transportation to help make these championships a huge success. Thanks very much.
And I believe our Ice King sponsor is actually in the building, if I'm not mistaken, in Chilliwack, Simon Morris.
Absolutely, yeah, Simon. Along with we're lucky today. to have a sponsor from Bel Air Direct as well, who's been a key sponsor in here. So all the fans are being treated to our suppliers today, and there's lots of contests happening. So if you are in the Chilliwack area today, please come by and say hi to Bel Air Direct and Ice King.
Yeah, we are so fortunate in this game to have such amazing sponsors, Will. We really are.
Absolutely. Scotty's, not to forget them, the title sponsor of the women's event. They have been supporting this event for a very long time. I wouldn't even wager to guess how long, Melissa. Do you happen to know?
I used to know.
And I was speaking with Travis at Bel Air Direct. They've been with Curl BC since 08, 09. So it is really about long-term strategic partnerships to make these events a success. And a big shout out to all of them.
I think I want to say 1982.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Colleen Jones won that one, I believe, in 1982, won the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Kruger Products,
And the way they support not only the national championships, but all of the provincial
all the
and
provincials as
territorial
well.
championships right across the country. Big thanks to Kruger Products and Scotty's for their support.
So does it look like Chris might be taking on the double here, Will? I think so, hey?
I think so, yeah. This is Chris's first, Melissa. Sorry, I got so distracted with those shout outs. I forgot we're commentating a curling game here.
I think it's his second.
Second, okay. So it looks like they're going to have a little bit of a discussion.
And I think the decision that they have to make the decision here, right? They can take on the double. If they do, they're likely lose their shooter, and they would still be sitting two, though, I believe. Again, if that camera was just a little bit higher, we could see a little better.
It's happening
Um,
tonight.
but I'm not sure. I think blue is lying two, if I'm not mistaken, Will. So I'm not sure if you just hit the one, if that's going to do you any good, because you don't want to give up a deuce here.
And when I did catch a glimpse through the corner of Gauthier and Middleton there, I thought it was um, I thought it would jam even if you made the double. I didn't think the double was there. I thought the one blue was jamming on your own rock. So I didn't really see how that double was getting made, but I only got a little peek for a moment there. So the Great Wall was in
Right.
our way.
Yeah, that Yellowstone is sort of at the 5 o'clock position, so
Hmm.
there is a chance that the second rock could jam. So we'll find out in a second here. Might just get the nose hit. So this is a chance now for two. Nose hit or a little on the center line side should do it.
A reminder. We're in the eighth end here, Melissa.
We're in the ninth.
Okay, good. I'm just checking the score updates, and they're an end behind, so I won't give you that reminder I was about to give you.
Yeah, we're in the ninth end here. our producer has school tomorrow, so, you know, got to get this going.
And he mentioned to me he still had to take the garbage out, so lots to do still
I know,
today.
and he's got to take the dogs out too. He's a busy boy, our producer.
Very nice shot from Team Gauthier to score their deuce here in the ninth end and take a 3-point lead going into the last.
How we doing around the rings, Will? Is there any
But
updates of
I will. I wasn't. I lost a little confidence there because our game wasn't updated from the last time. But let me just take
right?
a quick look here and see what I think.
Yeah, I don't think we are either, so
Yeah.
I
So
think you're
the
right.
Robillard de Young game playing the ninth end is 7-5 for Team Robillard. De Young has hammer, so that one's nice and close. Encourage you to click the YouTube link and get yourself up to date on that. If you're getting tired of mine and Melissa's voice, or watch them both. Pierce Montgomery is Pierce was able just to score 2 and 9, so he has his first lead of the game playing the 10th end. Montgomery is trailing by 1 with the hammer. And in the Cotter Cheka game, Cheka was forced to 1 and 8th. So Jim Cotter is leading 7-4, playing the ninth end. And then I'll just jump over to the women's for you. Just be a second here. We've got Team Brown scoring 2 and 8 to really take control of the game over Reese Hansen, now leading 9-4. And in the Grandy Ryan game, a steal of 3 for Grandy in the 8th puts Team Grandy up 11-7, playing the ninth end. So lots of scoring happening here in the last half of all these games.
Yeah, no kidding. And I don't think Alex will like me for pointing this out, but this is the third end in a row that he has slipped behind the tee line on his first rock. So he's just like a foot or two heavy there. A nice guard there, corner guard there by Blair. See what Jacques called there, Will. Normally he would want to call it top 12, but because of where that first rock stopped, he's actually going to call it right on top of the one that Alex threw first.
Yes.
He doesn't want to give Team Medford an opportunity or an ability to freeze to that stone. And this is the first time in the game we're going to see double guards on, and they're going to decide to throw them on the same side. What do you like here, Will?
Well, often what you'll see if it's earlier in the game and those rocks are both on the center line, you might see a guard just get thrown. However, based on the score in this one, I really like throwing a draw. Um, but I like you being able to use not only the blue one in the top of the house, but also your shooter. So I think you throw this into the top of the house, but you just don't want to overlap it at all with the other blue rock. You want to be able to use both your blue rocks after throwing this. I don't think you wanted to throw a weight that could get your rock behind the tee line.
Yeah, and I do believe that was the call. They were actually trying to throw a tap or like a little split on that
Yeah.
one in the top 8. And because of that, you have to throw the little extra weight. And unfortunately for Jason, that one just slips to the very, very back of the house. So I agree with you, though. It would have been good to try and put those almost side by side where you can use both of them if you need to.
Mm-hmm. So that would have probably been like the intern draw. It's probably the easiest way to get to that spot if you were to have
Right.
take that approach. But no, the tap would have been a good call too. If it was made.
Yeah, it was just about 5 feet heavy.
Yeah.
So chance here for Team Medford now. They've got two great corner guards. Now they're going to try and get one buried in behind there. Nice shot. Just a straight peel.
Jason Ginter, the second for Team Gauthier, made no mistake on that one. So a few options here, Melissa. You could go around your corner guard. Obviously, that groups things a little bit though, and I think Jacques just going to walk up and play a run back. So it looks like Chris is opting to freeze here, Melissa.
Yeah, he hasn't looked at throwing another corner guard. He looked at throwing one in the rings first, as you said, around the corner guard again. And then now I believe he's looking at potentially playing the corner freeze to the one in the top 12 foot there, top 8 foot. I you know, you I mean, I don't mind this call. But you're probably going to see Jacques walk up and rip that corner guard off, and now you've got nothing to protect any of your stones.
And we're getting on to here. This is thirds first.
Hmm. Yeah, just because it was his Team Medford's second stone, maybe another guard would have been okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost think you have to freeze to that one in the back button now.
Yeah, this
You
looks like a good call. So Steve Tersmetti asked to make the freeze here. Longtime competitor, Steve, for a number of different teams, but been playing in BC championships for a long time out of the Kootenays. Blair's just trying to slide that one over there, and it looks like a wonderful little shot there.
Yeah, just perfect line, just maybe a foot or so heavy, but great line. So you can see Jacques, I mean, he can walk over and hit the open one all day long, but he thinks if he plays this one and he gets some drag, there's a chance that that blue stone may drag on one of the other yellow stones, depending on where they hit it. Key is just to eliminate your opposition stones. Oh, just missed that one on the button.
Did the shooter roll to a beneficial spot for Team Gauthier?
I would say for Team Gauthier, it did, yes.
Yeah.
They got second shot just sitting in the back 4 foot right now. And so right now, Team Medford has to find a way to get 3 stones basically in the 4 foot area because the scoring area is pretty small. So it looks like we're gonna have another timeout.
Very wise time to maybe take the time to talk about it. I think it's a big shot in the game, Melissa.
I would agree. So I think they have to look at a couple different options here, Will. I mean, like you said, that Bluestone is actually rolled in a pretty good position for Team Gauthier. I think for Team Medford, they could try and throw the intern come around and try and freeze to their one that's on the button. I'm not sure corner freezing that one that's basically fourth shot. I'm not sure that that's going to do you any good at all. I think that's what they originally had looked at.
Well, my thought on that was if you were going to corner freeze it, you'd corner freeze on the left side of it from our left side of it on the screen, so
Right.
that the blue one actually exits, rather than if you freeze on the right side of it, unless you freeze it perfectly the way the last one was, right through the to go right through the hole. The chances are it's probably just going to jam on your
Correct.
yellows. So to me, the if you were to freeze on that top one, but I
Yeah, no, I would agree with that 100%.
and so you might even just need to go around that blue on that's on the center line, Melissa. You could throw a even if this ended up,
I think you almost have to go around. I
yeah,
don't see how, I think it's just too late in the end. I don't see how freezing to that one is going to do you any good at this moment because it would be like fifth shot and Gauthier could walk over and hit the rock that's third shot right now and sit, first, third, and fourth kind of thing.
really early in this deliberation, one of the players insinuated maybe freezing on that left yellow rock that's in the 8 foot. He's going right there, kind of where that broom just is there now. So that might be a place that it's makes it challenging to remove the shooter and challenging to remove that rock that's on the button. But but a few options here for sure. Mitch is kind of lining up that one to go through the hole again, but that is just so tough to not line it up to go onto one of your others. Great if you
Yeah.
make it. Great if you make it, but just a really, really tough angle to make.
So did you see the final shot call there, Will?
I think it is an uh intern freeze, but
To the top.
I'm not sure which rock, no.
Okay. Yeah, I think oh, this does not look very light. Oh boy. That's a bit of a mistake there.
So for the time being, it's Medford is shot. Second shot's Gauthier, and it looks like third and fourth are Medford. So still some life here.
Yeah, and Jock's indicating the hit and roll or the hit and try and punch that shot stone out. And right now, I really don't think there's any access to that one that's in the back four, the second shot stone. So I'm not sure you really want to mess with anything on the center line, to be honest.
So he's playing the double here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, which is great if you make it for sure, but
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
just don't want to, put yourself in a position where there might be a double back or something, and it brings that Yellowstone at the back of the 8 foot into play.
exactly.
So I just don't think you need to take too many chances here. Not that this is a risky chance by any means. And he's close. Got to get it out. What a shot. That is an incredible shot by Jacques
Absolutely.
Gauthier.
Nice compliment there from his opposition. Great to see the sportsmanship and camaraderie here at this top level of play in British Columbia.
Yeah, that's so wonderful to see. So I'm curious here, Will. Team Medford needs to find a way to bring that yellow stone into play, and right now they're just drawing to the button
And
with
it
two
skips.
rocks remaining.
Yeah, you need to find a way to eliminate that rock on the button and that rock in the back 8 foot in the next two shots.
Yeah, and
So I agree. This is an interesting call.
I'm not because actually, regardless of what they even do here, Jacques could hit this back one, wide open rock, and just end the game right now.
Looks like that's what he'll do. He's just playing the right-handed one, the rock on the right side, there, far right side, not the one almost touching the center line.
Right. Yeah. And that should be, I think, the last rock of the game here. I think he can end the game here. Like, unless you can make a quad, I guess, and keep your shooter if he rolls out.
So with the 7-4 lead, playing the 10th in, Jacques Gauthier just needs to make this one go away.
And nice shot. And that is it.
So it'll be handshakes, and with that win, Gauthier will advance to play Cotter. Cotter was able to defeat Cheka 10-4. So tomorrow at 9 a.m., you can see Jacques Gauthier take on Jim Cotter, which should be a great game. And we are still waiting to see who's going to advance to the A semis on the men's side. Robillard's currently leading DeYoung 8-5, and Brent Pierce is currently leading Jason Montgomery 5-4. I'll just quickly jump over and give you an update on the women's side here before Melissa and I sort of wrap up this game we just saw for the day. And on this side of things, Reese Hansen was able to battle back with a 3 in the 9th to pull within 2. So it's 9-7 for Team Brown playing the 10th end. So jump on over to that one. You can catch the tail end of it. And Team Grandy was able to steal 1 in 9 to defeat Team Ryan 12-7 after 9 ends. So Team Grandy is off to a great start in this event. Advancing now to the A final, and they'll either play Reese Hansen or Brown. Back to this game, Melissa. Thought it was a really well played game, and two solid teams. Team Gauthier now will advance in the A event, and Team Medford will now battle in the B. Any thoughts on the game?
I just thought it was a great game. It was a good battle and really close the whole way. And it really just came down to that end, the ninth end there, where Team Gauthier ended up getting their two and took that 3-point lead home to the 10th. So great game by both, and I expect to see more of the same in the days to follow.
Absolutely. And just a reminder, everybody, we will be back tomorrow at 9, 2, and 7. Games will be there'll be basically 6, whether it's 4 or 6, all those games will be on live, and we will have commentary as well as some mics on the ice. So please tune back in and bear with us as we improve things as we go on here in the championship. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, and thanks to Luca Saligo for all the great work behind the scenes.
Thanks, Luca.